With their quarterback, Deshaun Watson, under fire with a disciplinary hearing to look forward to, many are speculating what the next step for the Browns will be. No one can really say what the management is thinking, and will only come to know once the punishment is finalized. But word on the street is that they might think of going back to their ex-quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Let's see if this is a possibility or not. First up, the Browns are in jeopardy with a quarterback down. The present quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson, is set to face a suspension pretty soon. Wondering what's the reason? Well, there are some extreme allegations against Watson regarding his reported coercive and lewd behavior at several instances. In response to this, a disciplinary hearing is to be held regarding these events, which would determine the course of action. So an exact punishment has yet to be revealed. Along with these charges mentioned earlier, more than 20 women have also come forward accusing Watson of sexual misconduct. With such serious accusations against him, it seems pretty unlikely that even the Browns will be willing to let him play. So we can expect him to remain out of the field at least till this chaos is settled. This new development regarding the Browns has made way for many questions. Some think that a lack of any other decent options might lead them back to their old quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Mayfield played with the Cleveland Browns for 4 years and still has one last year left in his contract. Mayfield himself doesn't really know what the future holds for him, but one thing he is certain of is that he probably won't be going back to the Cleveland Browns. Yep, that's right. There's a huge chance that the ex-quarterback of Cleveland Browns might actually not return. Baker Mayfield is still on the payroll of the Cleveland Browns as they owe him $18.8 million. This season is the last of his rookie contract. During his time with the Browns in 2021, he has played 14 games with 13 starts. Mayfield hit several career lows in this season due to a shoulder injury. The last season was filled with high tensions between Mayfield and the Browns. There's a huge possibility that the two might still have hard feelings for each other. The ex-quarterback said goodbye to the team on social media after both of them unsuccessfully handled the injury during that season. It can be said that both parties share the blame equally. It later came to news that either the Carolina Panthers and/or the Seattle Seahawks might possibly be getting Mayfield through a trade-off, and reportedly even negotiations had also begun between the Panthers and the Browns during the 2022 NFL drafting. But as it turns out, things didn't really work out and no agreement was reached. The Panthers eventually ended up going with Matt Corral from Ole Miss. With training camp only a few days away, switching quarterbacks this late is pretty unheard of unless there's a serious injury. But the impending suspension of Watson and the Cleveland Browns being left without a quarterback does count as a serious problem, don't you think? Now, can we expect Mayfield to make a comeback? Well, things on that front seem pretty uncertain. The process, according to Mayfield, has been moving too slow for his liking. But Mayfield has decided to remain patient and has accepted the fact that some things are out of his control. Turns out that Mayfield had hoped to hear something from the management before the minicamp, but when no one reached out, he was pretty upset. Do you think the Browns are waiting for the best time to make the announcement, or are they going to go with someone else completely? Or it could be that the team is waiting to hear the results regarding Watson's suspension, just trying to keep all their options open. Even though the ex-quarterback is still on the team's payroll with a pretty considerable salary, if we might add, he still doesn't seem like the Browns' saving grace to us. Well, at least not right now. Mayfield was reached out for a comment regarding the present situation at his youth football camp in Norman, Oklahoma. Through his comments, Mayfield implied that he was ready for a fresh start with the Browns. He mentioned that both sides are ready to move on and that they came to this decision mutually. But sadly enough, no one has reached out to him yet, so it seems like they would be moving on without each other. Mayfield further stated, "I think it's been pretty obvious when talking about the lack of contact from the team. Let's also keep in mind that the Browns had also earlier tried to move him through trade. This gives us a pretty clear answer, don't you think? Besides, as it turns out, Mayfield is over this, so maybe we can expect him to go in a completely different direction." When reminiscing about his career with Cleveland, he mentioned that he was very thankful for the time he spent with the team. According to the ex-quarterback, there are no hard feelings between the two and everything is in the past. Well, we sure hope that's the case. The 27-year-old quarterback showed gratitude towards Cleveland and stated that he didn't have any resentment towards them. So, as it turns out, they are moving on with a clean slate. In other NFL-related news, we have Griffin III all set to return to the NFL. Robert Griffin III is completely ready to re-enter the world of NFL after the break he took to focus on his TV work. Griffin doesn't care how long it takes, but he wants everyone to know that he's in his best shape to play. He's ready and standing by the phone just in case a team comes calling. Some injuries had actually ended up restricting his career. He was released by the Cleveland Browns in 2016 due to these injuries and then spent 2018 until 2020 with the Baltimore Ravens. Now he wishes to give back as much as he can to the game. Demaryius Thomas had CTE, his parents have revealed. The 33-year-old NFL player Demaryius Thomas passed away last year due to a cardiac arrest. The causes of this cardiac cardiac arrest are believed to be a seizure disorder, which was also why he ended up retiring from football. An examination of the NFL player's brain was carried out, and the results, as revealed by his parents, stated that he was suffering from stage 2 CTE. CTE basically stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is brain degeneration. This usually occurs due to repetitive head traumas. This is pretty common in people who play football or other contact sports. However, CTE can only be diagnosed after an autopsy is performed. Thomas's parents also opened up about his symptoms. They've stated that many of them were in fact related to CTE, including paranoia and frequent headaches. The late player's brain was donated for study as, according to his parents, he wished to help other players if he was unable to survive. Excuse us while we take a moment to let this sink in. Next up, gun-themed coffee sparks controversy for NFL Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are currently facing major criticism after they announced an agreement with a gun-themed coffee company. The products for this company include blends named AK-47 Espresso and Murdered Out. If you think that's weird, then wait till you hear the company's name. They're called Black Rifle Coffee Company. This partnership was announced the day after 7 people died in a shooting at an Independence Day parade on the 4th of July. Wow, they really don't know how to read the room. The Dallas Cowboys have refused to comment on this situation, but the scenario has sparked a major debate regarding the reflection of gun violence in the business industry. Lastly, here are some lessons that the NFL should learn from the USFL. The first season of a rebooted USFL ended last Sunday, and it has a lot to teach the NFL. The USFL made use of many policies that made it a tad bit different from the NFL. These policies also contributed to a lot of improved performance of players on field and also enhanced the fans' experience. Maybe it's time that the NFL adopts some of these policies from the USFL in order to increase its quality. Here are some changes we suggest that the NFL should make. In Week 4, USFL made use of a running clock after any incomplete passes which took place in the first and third quarters. This allowed the players to be mindful of the time and help keep most of the games under 3 hours. Such a clock would help encourage passing plays when it comes to third down situations. It will also keep the game more organized. Another change is that the NFL should reconsider reassessing the penalty for pass interference. USFL currently has a penalty of 15 yards, which has proved to be a much better option during games. That's all for today's video. Do you think that the Cleveland Browns will be going with Baker Mayfield? Is that a wise option for both of them? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for similar content. See you in the next video with brand new content.